Welcome to another edition of exciting news stories from the power sector. This is Power Wheel, a production of the Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN, and I am Chinwenwa Anyanwu. Let's have a view of some stories that unfolded in the power sector in the Power News segment. The Minister of Power, Works and Housing, Mr. Babatunde Fashola, has called on the electricity distribution companies, DISCOs, to improve their distribution networks to supply more electricity to Nigerians. Take a listen.
Fashola, who made the call at the 26th Power Sector meeting hosted by the Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN, in Umuahia, Abia State, said many Nigerians are beginning to acknowledge the improvement in power supply, while urging the distribution companies, DISCOs, to boost service delivery, as they now have the responsibility since the 2013 privatization.
They are now the champions of producing power. With the exceptions of projects under the NDPHC and the NIPP projects, and of course the exception of the Yola Distribution Company, which the investor has surrendered, this is the general situation. Government through MBET and TCN are executing these tasks, whether MBET by signing power purchase agreements that secures contractual rights and governs payment terms for production of more power, and TCN is also investing in expanding its transmission asset capacity.
On the need to upgrade distribution networks, Fashola said improvements in the quality and capacity of distribution networks will stimulate consumer willingness to pay for electricity consumed.
The immediate task that I see that the DISCOs must embark upon is an improvement in the quality and capacity of the distribution equipment and to improve power supply and service in order to stimulate consumer willingness to pay.
He said that DISCOs should respond swiftly to consumer complaints and resolve them, as the ministry in Abuja was getting many complaints from different parts of the country.
In particular, DISCOs must respond to consumer complaints and resolve them in a business-like manner. This is really the hallmark of service delivery. And on this matter of consumer complaints, let me say again that we are getting a number of complaints in the ministry headquarters in Abuja, and they come from different parts of the country.
Fashola also tasked citizens and communities on the role they need to play in granting right of ways and facilitating transmission expansion projects to add more power infrastructure.
Citizens and communities also have an important role to play, and especially with our transmission service, we are expanding transmission capacity nationwide. We are facing community challenges, court cases here and there, and I will say that governors have responded admirably, and they have done so across party lines, and we want to thank them for their support.
He acknowledged the giant strides being made by TCN in improving transmission capacity. As he said, the company will be commissioning over 90 transmission projects soon.
At the moment, TCN has over 90 substation, transformer, expansion, rehabilitation, and allied work projects going on in various stages of completion across the country. Within the next few weeks and months, they will be going round to complete and energize these projects, just as we have done here this morning with the 40 MVA substation additional capacity, transformer capacity to this Umuahia substation.
Fashola noted that government, through the Niger Delta Power Holding Company, will shortly complete over 100 distribution projects to help the DISCOs boost supply of electricity to their customers.
This should help the DISCOs improve their power supply and service delivery to those communities where those distribution projects are located.
In furtherance of its transmission expansion plan and improving bulk electricity supply, the Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN, has completed and energized a 40 MVA mobile transformer at the Umuahia substation and another 60 MVA transformer at the Abad Transmission Substation, all in Abia State. Take a listen.
The Minister of Power, Works and Housing, Babatunde Fashola, commissioned the 40 MVA mobile transformer at Umuahia substation in company of the Abia State Governor, Okeze Ikpeazu, during the 26th monthly power sector meeting in Umuahia, the state capital.
The existing capacity is 80 MVA. This mobile transformer adds another 40 MVA and increases that capacity to 120.
He said the new transformer was an addition to the existing 80 MVA in the substation to improve power supply to communities.
Communities like Bende, Umuahia, Ohafia, Arochukwu, Isikwato are some of the places that benefit from this service. Since you have said that you will own this asset like your own, I'm going to invite Your Excellency to cut the tape, commission it, and own it and protect it.
Governor Ikpeazu shortly, before cutting the tape, said it was a product of ingenuity of Nigerian engineers to deliver service to the people.
We are excited that what we are seeing today is a product of innovation and ingenuity of Nigerian engineers delivered by Nigerians for the service of Nigerians.
Ikpeazu called on the local government council chairman and the community leaders to protect the installation so it can serve them for long.
I want to also say that the local government chairman, community leaders that are here, this government has committed earlier in the day that this infrastructure is for our good and for our people to have a better life going forward. And we must treat it as something that is strategic and important and that belongs to us, to the glory of God and service of humanity, in the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit.
Before commissioning the 60 MVA transformer at the Abad Transmission Substation, Fashola at the power sector meeting said TCN expanded the substation with the new 60 MVA to increase service capacity from 127.5 MVA to 187.5 MVA for increased power delivery. The managing director of TCN, Usman Guru Mohammed, represented by the head transmission service provider, Victor Adewumi, said with the commissioning, the capacity has been raised to 227.5 megawatts, adding that it was installed by TCN engineers.
The import of this is that the entire community in Aba will have more regular power supply. We have 3 other key projects that is ongoing in Abia State. That is the Mbalano 2 by 40 MVA substation, and we already have another one, 2 by 40 MVA at Ohafia, and another 2 by 40 MVA at Arochukwu.
He also solicited the assistance of the state government on providing security for the substation, while noting that the 3 other key projects in the state are faced with challenges of right-of-way.
In the incoming President MD, he has reactivated these projects, and the contractors that are earlier immobilized from site are going back to site now. We are going to be seeking your assistance very soon in terms of this right-of-way settlement.
The Deputy Governor of Abia State said the expansion of the substation is of great impact to the many small and medium-scale enterprises in Aba.
If there is any assistance whatsoever you need from us as a state,
will be there for you to ensure that the other three ongoing projects at Mbalama, Onate, and Anutu is completed as soon as possible.
We will take a break on Power Wheel to bring you a message. Power News continues shortly. Please stay tuned.
Do not build under transmission power lines for your safety and health. Electricity power lines and substations, either for power transmission or power distribution services, are extremely dangerous when exposed to direct human contact. These power lines and substations transmit electricity that lights up our homes and offices, power our computers, TVs, and refrigerators. On the other hand, same electricity when exposed is extremely dangerous. It can shock, electrocute, and kill anyone on its way. That is why everyone must adopt safety measures whenever we use or are close to electricity facilities like power lines or substation or transformers. For the safety of the people and animals, governments all over the world have approved way leave or right-of-way of 50 meters for 330 kV power lines and 30 meters for 132 kV power lines, and for 33 kV lines, the way leave is 15 meters. People are not expected to be found within this way leave or right-of-way for safety reasons. The lines can suddenly cut and fall to the ground with very disastrous consequences such as fire and electrocution of anybody and destruction of anything, be it vehicle, houses or vegetation on its line. It has also been established that power lines and substation emit electromagnetic fields, EMF, which is dangerous to human health. The World Health Organization, WHO, has warned that people who spend long hours under or close high-tension lines stand the risk of being affected by EMF and be vulnerable to cancer, leukemia in children, miscarriages among pregnant women, and other terrible diseases. It is therefore advisable not to build any structure or operate any business under or near any electricity high-tension lines or substations. TCN wants you to stay alive, stay safe, stay healthy, avoid power lines. This message is from the management of Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN.
The West African Power Pool, WAP, has announced the commencement of regional electricity markets from June 2018, which will enable the Transmission Company of Nigeria to export more electricity to countries in the region.
The Managing Director of TCN and Chairman of WAP, Mr. Usman Guru Mohammed, disclosed this at the WAP Stakeholders Consultation held early this month in Abuja. He said the meeting was to inform the power sector operators of how the regional market will operate and to get their feedbacks on improving the process.
We want to discuss with you about our plan to start the kickoff of the regional electricity market, which is expected to start in June.
He said WAP, as a section of the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, was established in 2006 to enable the reduction of electricity cost for member states, which has facilitated more international trade in electricity.
Since inception, WAP Secretariat, in conjunction with the WAP utility members, is putting in place condition precedent for the establishment of a unified regional electricity market by developing the required generation and transmission infrastructure as well as system operation manual, the market rules and the transmission tariff, among others.
The WAP chairman said the pool plans to integrate and connect all countries linked by land in the region by 2019 to enhance the trade of electricity among them.
By 2019, meaning all the land countries will have been connected in one way or the other by each other through interconnecting system created by West African Power Pool.
On the ongoing Northern Corridor project, he said it will connect Nigeria with Niger Republic, Benin Republic, and Burkina Faso at the transmission distance of about 700 kilometers.
The Northern Corridor is going to link 4 countries, which is Nigeria, Niger, Benin, and Burkina Faso, through a 330 kV double-circuit line.
Mohammed said the various international transmission lines will create the energy security that is needed and to also facilitate energy trade for Nigeria and other member countries.
Energy trade is business. It's business. It's not charity. If anybody thinks that we are sending electricity to Niger and to Benin for charity, it's not so. It's business. We are actually earning foreign exchange from that trade.
The managing director of the Nigerian Electricity Management Services Agency, Mr. Peter Eweso, said the initiative was a laudable one and urged the participants at the stakeholders session to take full advantage of it to help WAP realize the project.
The importance cannot really be overemphasized. This is a good step and a good way to go. I want to congratulate all the participants for being here and take full advantage of this session so as much as to provide any solution that we can faster bring this to fruition.
The coordinator, Manufacturers Power Development Company Nigeria Limited, Mr. Ogbe Mbasam, said the company handles power-related issues for the Manufacturers Association of Nigeria, MAN. He said WAP was in the right direction in working towards having a regional market.
It's going to happen at a better time. In fact, we were overdue, considering the effort that I've been putting so far. I think I need to commend the WAP Secretariat and indeed the leadership of the chairman of WAP, which is the MD of TCN. I can see a lot of energy in TCN. I'm sure that with this kind of space we are seeing in TCN, a lot of improvement is going to happen in the power sector.
The System Operation Program Officer, WAP Secretariat, Sanu Honore, said the Secretariat also presented the WAP operational manual to stakeholders ahead of the regional electricity market launch in June.
Nigeria is a key player for West Africa electricity sector because we have supplying 60% of energy power in the sub-region. 60%. This is important. So we intend to put in place a regional market. That means we will have a competition on the market.
To improve electricity voltage across the Federal Capital Territory, FCT, the federal government has commissioned a 60 MVAR capacitor bank at the Akpo 132 by 33 kV transmission substation in Abuja, which will boost electricity quality across 7,000 households.
The Minister of Power, Works and Housing, Mr. Babatunde Fashola, shortly before commissioning the project, said President Muhammadu Buhari's administration is focused beyond incremental electricity supply to the quality of electricity being supplied.
It is one thing to have power. It is another for the quality of the power to be good. And today, we come to address quality of power.
Fashola also noted that stakeholders in the power sector at the recent 26th Monthly Power Sector meeting in Umuahia, Abia State, committed to improving customer service. Hence, the Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN, will be commissioning over 90 projects.
Some of the examples of improving service will be rollout of projects that help to bring more people access to power. What has happened simply is that our population has grown over the last 20 years without a commensurate expansion in the services that we have installed. And that is partly why you experience things like load shedding, low voltage, and all of those things.
The voltage improvement project at Apo, with another 25 MVA, to be commissioned in Kefi, Nasarawa State, by June 2018, is worth $12.4 million, about 4.457 billion naira. It was initiated by the Japanese International Cooperation Agency, JICA, in 2016 to assist TCN improve power supply across Abuja, FCT, Nasarawa, and Benue states. The managing director of TCN, Mr. Usman Guru Mohammed, said The installation of the 2 capacitor banks are executed through a grant from JICA, which is also supporting the rehabilitation of the Lagos-Ogun transmission line that could boost transmission by 1,000 megawatts.
JICA is supporting us with a loan that is putting transmission and transformation capacity between Lagos and Ogun to the tune of up to more than 1,000 megawatt in terms of line and transformation capacity.
Mohammed called on development partners and international donor agencies to key into the track record set by JICA in also providing grants to TCN instead of providing loan facilities only.
This is something we should celebrate, and we should also ask our partners that are ready to help us, not only to give us loan, but to also give us grant like this.
The chief representative of JICA Nigeria office, Katsutoshi Komori, who lauded the project, said it will boost power supply across 7,000 households while improving economic activities. He also said the capacitor bank for Kefi will be completed and handed over by June 2018.
This project will stabilize the power supply in the regions served by those substations and is expected to provide stable power supply to approximately 7,000 households. By improving the power supply capacity and reliability, this project is also expected to stimulate economic activities and improve the lives of residents.
The ambassador of Japan to Nigeria, Mr. Sadanobu Kusaoke, said more of such projects are underway, especially on the rehabilitation of the Lagos transmission region, as he lauded the government for the improvement in power supply in the last 2 years.
But our support to Nigeria's power sector will not end with this Abuja project. The government of Japan, in partnership with the federal government, is now signing an exchange of note for the emergency rehabilitation and the reinforcement of Lagos transmission substation. We hope this Lagos project will help to improve the power supply in the state, thereby attracting more investment to Nigeria's commercial capital and the minister's hometown.
The FCT Minister, Mohammed Bello, who was represented at the occasion by the Executive Secretary, Federal Capital Development Authority, Omar Gambo Jibrin, expressed gratitude for the capacitor bank because of the anticipated positive effect it will have in the management of electricity in Abuja and its environs.
We are very hopeful for efficiency in the transmission and distribution of power in the territory. Similarly, the health and security of our power systems will be guaranteed, as well as the prevention of damage and reduction transmission losses.
Unveil that to commemorate this event. It's done.
Stay put as we bring to you more news in the Power Flash segment. As usual, we take pleasure in your interactions with us on the program. Let's hear your take in the Vox Pop segment.
The bill is actually high, but in comparison with using of gas, diesel, I think we appreciate giving us slight more than what they are giving us now. But the tariff, if they can still consider us, because if you have customer that is buying your commodity every time, you are making gain because they are regular customers. So you should be able to come down so that you attract us.
Moreover, they always give us higher bill. You understand? Because this our compressor here is just 3.5 horsepower. But when they bring the bill, they will be giving us at the rate of 50,000, 100,000, which is beyond control.
We are getting light enough. we are very satisfied with the light. But the area we have little challenge is the area of charges. And that charges, if there is a possibility for NEPA or Nigeria government to help us intervene and talk over the charges to be reduced to us at least a little bit. If we are not expect them to bring it down to the lower, to our own expectation, but at least let them do something.
Do keep a date with us next week for a fresh edition. Until then, please keep watching Power Wheel on our YouTube channel, and we hope you reach us through these platforms. I am Chinwenwa Anyao. Bye for now.